Chapter 27. Maru-Aten turns out to be a lavish enclosed country estate with gleaming white temples and houses, luscious gardens, and in the middle, a huge pond. At the far end of the estate, surrounded by a moat, is a man-made island just big enough for 2 small houses and a shatra, a roofless sun chapel. We're having our picnic in the shatra. The tiled columns and the water plants painted on the walls, and even the beaded necklaces worn by my companions are the same shade of turquoise as the sky. Has some celestial artist been at work here? On a platform in the center of the shatra, Nefertiti sits on a throne-like chair inlaid with ivory and ebony. I'm in my cushioned basket next to her. Tia and the 5 girls sit on pillows in a semicircle in front of the platform. Beside each picnicker is a low table that the servants have covered with plates of roasted quails, pickled cucumbers, honey cakes, duck eggs omelets, and stuffed figs. I've been given a bowl, and Nefertiti has filled it with food from her table. While eating, I look through the large square window over to the pond. Everyone in Maru-Aten is eating. Frogs leap from behind the thick foliage around the pond and stick their tongues out to catch flying insects. Kingfishers hover above the water, then suddenly dive, catching their prey in their beaks. I enjoy the ducks especially. When one dips its head and neck in the water to get food, its ass pops up covered with droplets that shine in the bright sunlight, and the silly little tail points straight up to the sky. Whenever possible, I sneak a few laps of wine from Nefertiti's goblet. The others are also drinking wine, and if one of them happens to place her goblet on the ground, I leave the comfort of my cushioned basket to sneak a few laps from it too. Stuffed and a little drunk, I fall asleep in my basket to the lullaby created by the chatter of women, the humming of bees, the croaking of frogs, and the singing of birds. When I awaken, there are 3 musicians outside the front entrance to the shatra, sitting on the steps with their instruments waiting to play. Tia whispers in Nefertiti's ear, and the queen nods. "Would you like to play musical statues?" Tia asks the girls. "Oh, yes, yes!" they all chime in, getting up from their pillows and gathering around her. "I'll be the game master, of course," Tia says, "and the winner will receive this." From behind her back, she takes a lovely beaded necklace and holds it up to the girls. "Get ready," she orders when their oohs and ahs die down. Never heard of musical statues, but seeing the girls compete should be fun. The girls spread out. "Go ahead," Tia calls to the musicians. The music comes fast and loud. The girls are dancing frantically. "Stop the music," Tia shouts suddenly. The girls freeze, arms and legs extended. Tia goes around studying each of them. Heket bursts out laughing and loses her pose. Typical of her. So excitable. "You're out," Tia orders. Heket moves to the sidelines, and Tia has the music start again. When the 4 remaining girls are in the midst of their frantic dancing, she again tells the musicians to stop. Again the girls freeze. Again Tia goes around studying them. Tetisheri, who has been left standing on one leg, begins to tremble so much she loses her pose. Tia calls her out, and she joins Heket. In the next round, when the music stops and Nofret, Rayonette, and Werrel freeze, Heket and Tetisheri make faces at them. They laugh and lose their poses. "None of you took the game seriously," Tia says. "None of you deserve the necklace. I'll keep it for myself." I look up at Nefertiti, who's smiling sadly. These girls must remind her of her daughters. One has died, and she can no longer visit the tomb. The others she isn't allowed to see. If I ever meet her husband, I'll scratch his face for making her suffer so. Tia dismisses the musicians and proposes a game of hide and seek. She'll be it and will count down from 20 before searching for them. She walks over to one of the columns, turns her back to the girls, and covers her eyes. When she begins to count, the girls take off. Nofret, Tetisheri, Rayonette, and Werrel all run out the front entrance and down the stairway. Nofret and Tetisheri each hide in one of the small buildings that flank the shatra. Rayonette and Werrel run past the buildings and over the bridge that connects the island to a temple and the rest of the estate. Good riddance. But where is Heket? I turn and see her leaning over me. How did she get onto the platform without my noticing? "Oh, no, you don't." I hiss at her. She jumps off the platform, runs out the back entrance to the shatra, and crosses the bridge leading to a walled flower garden. "Here I come, girls," shouts Tia when she finishes counting. She looks around, then goes out the front entrance to search for the girls. Finally, some quiet. From her throne-like chair, Nefertiti is gazing at the pond as the declining sun tinges the water pink. I go back to lie in my cushioned basket next to her, unable to take my eyes off her beautiful, somber face. I become aware of the woman only as she climbs the last steps of the front stairway and enters the shutra. If I'd been talking, I'd now become speechless. Though not quite as beautiful, the woman is a younger version of Nefertiti. She's even dressed in the same long pleated linen gown tied under her breasts by a sash, but her sash is blue rather than red. She walks over the platform, steps up, and stands beside Nefertiti's chair. Only now is the queen aware of her daughter. "Mother," her tone would congeal a mother's blood. "My dear Marie Taten," Nefertiti says, either missing the chill in her daughter's voice or choosing to ignore. "I had hoped to see you here, and I had hoped you would never come here again." I'm stunned. Why such hatred? "You are cruel," Nefertiti says. "That is not what my father thinks of me. He has poisoned you against me. I thought you, being the eldest, would understand that. Can you not see it? What I see, Mother, is your betrayal of my father's ideals, my father's cause. Your father's cause has oppressed Egypt. I will no longer listen to you. I will go to my father. When I come back tonight, I expect you to be gone." With these words, Marie Taten bows to Nefertiti and leaves the way she came. If there was ever a time for Polione to return, it's now. I take the papyrus from under my pillow where I hid it yesterday. Keeping it between my teeth, I stretch up to Nefertiti's knees and offer it to her. Hesitant at first, she accepts it. I return to my basket as if nothing has happened, and she reads aloud. "No longer are the stars in the sky, no longer is a man's heart his. Thou, my queen, have captured all." Nefertiti stands up, leaves the platform, and looks around, first toward the front stairway, then toward the back one. When she returns moments later, she leans over to pat me on my head. "Oh, Tati, you're the best messenger in all Egypt." She sits back down on her chair and closes her eyes. Holding the papyrus in her right hand over her heart, she falls asleep. Suddenly, I sense someone else's presence in the shutra. I turn. It's Heket. I immediately discover why she's come out of hiding. With the speed of an arrow, she jumps on the platform, scoops me out of my basket, and, clutching me tight to her bosom, makes off with me out the back entrance. Oh, for the love of the gods! It's my kidnapping in the Great Palace all over again. We cross the bridge to the flower garden and enter a courtyard at the back of the garden. The courtyard contains a long row of interlocking T-shaped pools with large pillars between them. Is Heket going to hide behind one of the pillars? Or in a water tank and drown me in the process? I'm not going to stay around to find out. I hiss at her as ferociously as I can. She drops me and flees. The wine I drank and the shock I just had left me with an urge to pee. The flower garden seems like just the place, but I see what looks like a gardener. He has his back to me. If he's anything like the gardener I encountered in the garden of the king's house, I'll be the victim of some unpleasantness if he sees me peeing. I'd better make it quick before he turns around. I look for a suitable spot in the flower beds. How pretty the chamomile flowers look. Elena used to make herself chamomile tea before retiring at night. Sometimes she made some for the little pharaoh to soothe his upset stomach. I miss them both so much. I pee under the chrysanthemums. When I leave the garden and return to the shutra, Nefertiti is gone. On her chair lies a memento of the day, the collar the girls made for her from the flowers and berries they picked in Maru Aten before our picnic. Sadly, the flowers have wilted and the berries dried. Wafting on the air is the smell of incense. Aten is low on the horizon. As they do when he rises, the priests are again purifying the air in his temples with incense and making offerings of food and libations. Indeed, Nefertiti must have gone to worship at one of the temples. Mixed with the odor of incense is another familiar smell. Why didn't I notice it before? Was it masked by perfumes worn by Nefertiti and the girls? Or is it because the northern wind has begun to blow and carries it to me? I follow the smell back to the flower garden. He's stooping from the weight of the gardener's yoke on his shoulders, a water pail hanging from each end. Gato Hamen, I call out, running over to him. The high priest straightens abruptly. The yoke slides down his back to the ground, the pails hit the ground hard, and the water splashes on me. But I don't mind. I jump into his open arms and encircle his neck with my forelegs tightly. What are you trying to do? He asks. Strangle me? I'm just so happy to see you. And I you. Running his hands up and down my back, he comments on my weight gain and complains about the many days of starvation he endured before finding a gardener's job at Maruatan. He is much thinner. If he weren't, I would have recognized him even from the back. But with his hands so close to my fat neck, it might not be in my best interest to mention his weight loss. I took the job in hope of meeting Nefertiti, he explains. Knowing today was the 10th day of her amnesia, I had lost all hope. Then she arrived. Of course, I did not know you were here as well. What the hell are you doing here? I thought you'd never ask. I describe my adventures from the moment I left him at the market to follow the merchant to the moment I gave Nefertiti my poem. When I recite it, the high priest smiles. What is it? I did not tell you this in Bath, because it was a detail. When Nefertiti woke up on the 11th of Epip, she discovered a love poem she did not remember receiving. She recited it to me. It was your poem. You have always been part of her forgotten past. But I gave her the poem only today. For Nefertiti back in Bath, it was centuries ago. What is the present for you is the past for her, though forgotten. Stop, I cry, no longer feeling guilty over the high priest's weight loss. My head is spinning. His smile fades. What's wrong? Whatever caused her amnesia will come to pass tonight. You must stay by her side to discover what it was. Then we can return to the future. Talking about returning to the future, where did you put the boat? I couldn't find it. It was too risky to leave it where it was. I kept moving it until I found a job here in Maruatan. It is nearby, just outside the walls, where I can keep an eye on it. I'm glad it's safe, but how did you move it here so far from the Nile? The high priest doesn't answer. You used magic? Well, yes, but at first it did not go smoothly. I ended up in another time. Where? Ancient Rome, in a sewer. Please do not ask any more questions. Let us just say it was a low point in my life, best forgotten. The poor high priest. You must go to Nefertiti now. Every moment is critical. I will be waiting to hear from you. During the day you can find me working in this garden or in gardens nearby. At night I will be in my quarters. My house is the first of the small houses to the left of the main entrance. You must go now. He puts me down and gives me a push. Hurry! It pains me so to part from the high priest again. Without looking back, I go to find Nefertiti. I start at the temple beside the moat. All I find are priests performing their rituals at the altar, where baskets of fruit and libations have been placed. One priest stoops to pet me. Though I'm on an urgent mission, I can't help circling his legs. Tati! Tati, where are you? Tia calls from somewhere outside the temple. I turn abruptly, almost tripping the priest, and follow the voice to the main gate of Maruatan. Tia and the girls are in couples waiting in chariots. Guards are at the rear. Nefertiti is standing next to Tia's chariot, cloaked in a wool cape. She's trembling, though there's hardly a breeze now. Tia sees me and holds up my basket. Come, Tati. I stop. She gets out of the chariot and walks toward me. I move back. Oh, let him stay here, Tia, Nefertiti says. He will keep me company. My queen, are you sure you want me to go? I don't like to leave you unattended. I wish to be alone. And there are plenty of women here to attend to my needs. Of course, she adds, seeing Tia's hurt expression, none could serve me as well as you. Now go before Aten is swallowed up. As soon as Tia and the girls leave in their chariots, Nefertiti has the guards bring a chariot for her. It's pulled by two magnificent stallions, their black coats glowing in the light of the torches at the sides of the gate. Where's Nefertiti going? I don't have a good feeling about this. As the chariot passes through the gate, I jump in. She seems not to have noticed. We ride south of Maruatan, fast and furious, her cape flapping in the wind like the mighty wings of a vulture. Riding on uneven ground, the chariot lurches and bounces. I fear the wheels will come off any minute. A quarter of an hour later, We stop beneath the outermost edge of the cliff that hugs the city on its southern side. Nefertiti leaves the chariot and walks along a man-made path going up the craggy side of the cliff. I follow, keeping at a distance. Twilight is almost over, but there's enough light left to guide her. Still, she stumbles, and each time it happens, my heart skips a beat. She stops in front of a niche in the cliff where a stela has been carved out of the back wall. What is this place? Sacred ground? Why has Nefertiti come here? I stay in the shadows so she can't see me. She paces up and down, wringing her hands, looking repeatedly from left to right. Appearing suddenly out of thin air is a man. Well, not entirely a man. His face is a long, downward curving snoot. 2 asinine ears with flattened tips sprout from his head, and a tail sticks out from under his kilt. I've seen his likeness painted on the walls of temples and tombs. It's Seth, the god of darkness and terror. He smells like stale urine. He bows to the queen, his right arm raised in the Henu gesture. It's a gesture of joy and respect, but his leering smile betrays his true feelings. I'm shaking, my fur is standing up like steel bristles. "Why have you summoned me here?" Nefertiti asks. "My dear queen," Seth replies, "you prayed to me earlier today at Maruatan to make a bargain, and we did. All I have done is choose the time and the place to carry it out." Seth's voice is mellow, but has a sting. What bargain has she made with him? I should never have left her alone. "Yes, but why here?" "Call me a sentimental god. I thought what better place to carry out our bargain than where we first met. On this very spot by that stela, you prayed to Aten to resurrect your dead daughter, your beloved Meketaten. He turned a deaf ear. Then you summoned me. But I had to decline. Resurrecting the dead is outside my expertise." "I still don't understand," Nefertiti says. "Do not interrupt me. I am unforgiving. You and your husband had that stela carved and inscribed just before the building of Akhenaten, the city to honor Aten as the one and only god." His eyes turning a fiery red, Seth adds, "Monotheism. A huge mistake, my dear. It hurt a lot of gods. It pissed me off especially. So before we go through with our bargain, I want you to put your hand on that stela and abjure your beloved god. It is a deal breaker." "Bastard!" Nefertiti, without saying a word, moves to the back of the niche and puts her right hand on the stela. "I abjure the god Aten. I abjure all he stands for. I abjure the city that was built for him." The humiliation? My poor queen. "Now, come to me," Seth commands. Nefertiti obeys, stopping a few feet from him. "Close your eyes," he tells her, "and wish it away." Wish what away? "My husband's love and my daughter's love are no more," Nefertiti says in a low monotone. "Nothing holds me here. Oh, Polione, soon your disfigurement will be gone, and you will no longer fear my gaze. Together we will leave this land, and in the days left to us we will find happiness." What does she mean? What have I done? "Now!" Seth cries out. Nefertiti has become luminous. Keeping the outline of her form, the pulsating white light slowly moves from her body towards Seth. How horrible! Nefertiti is sacrificing her soul to erase Polione's disfigurement. "No, no, my queen!" I cry. I leap between Nefertiti and Seth, colliding with her soul. The light engulfs me. I feel I'm being consumed by fire. I have her soul. Seth's voice explodes like thunder, making the ground shake and me as well. "Accursed cat, who are you?" "I am Polione." "But you're a cat." "Oh, Tati," Nefertiti cries, collapsing. Seth's laughter is even more menacing than his anger. "What a fool," he says, nodding towards the unconscious queen. Then, bowing his asinine head to me, he adds, "You are a bigger trickster than I am." He's right. I am a trickster. and the realization horrifies me. Seth grows taller and taller, then disappears back into thin air. I rush to Nefertiti and rub my face against hers. She's breathing very softly, as if she were sleeping. How vulnerable she appears, the locks of her wig upturned like the wings of a dead bird. Memories of our shared moments flow over me like the inundating waters of the Nile, drowning me in a feeling I've never felt before, not for the high priest or Elena, not even for the pharaoh. I loved Nefertiti. Now I am in love with her. I fear it, yet welcome it. What's happening to me? I must go back to Maruaten and tell the high priest what took place here. I promise, my queen, I whisper in Nefertiti's ear. I'll be back never to leave your side again. I run down the path and past the queen's chariot. The horse's neighs are like the wails of grieving women. They echo in my mind throughout my journey back to Maruaten.